Imagine you are a college student and have come to a big city like Delhi. You cannot get a job and have got only about 5 rupees note in your hand. What would you like to do? Listen what Satish Bharta did in a similar situation. Now, I was standing outside the tea house in Connaught Circus, idly watching the traffic. I wondered if I could afford a cup of coffee and a plate of potato chips. When a shoe shine walked up and put down his box in front of me. "Creamed and polished, sir?" he asked. "Your shoes do need a polish, sir," the voice persisted. "Yes, I know," I said, smiling, "but I can't afford it." "Can't afford it?" the Susan replied, joining me with a smile. "Only 4 annas, sir." "I haven't got 4 annas for a shoes polish," I said, walking away. But there was a puzzled and hurt expression on his face, as if I was making fun of him. "You see, I am looking for a job." The boy picked up his box and started walking with me. "Can't get a job with dirty shoes like that, sir. The boss sahibs won't like it." "The boss sahibs don't seem to like me in any case," I answered, beginning to get irritated. "Police shoe won't make things any better." I wanted to get rid of the boy, but he persisted in walking with me. "You don't live in Delhi?" he said after a while. "No," I replied firmly. "I come from Kolkata and I don't want my shoes polished." "I have an uncle who works in Kolkata," he went on a lot of money in the house of a Bengali Babu. Instantly the thought seized me. "And how much money do you earn?" I questioned. "Oh, it is all depends on a bad day about 3 rupees, on a good day when there are a lot of tourists about 5. Sometimes more." I did a sport of quick calculation in my mind. The answer sent a silver third me. The Susain earned more than Ram Singh, a clerk in a government office. Here at last was a solution. "Do you think I could?" I asked hesitantly. "What, sir?" "Police shoes. Like you, I mean." "Police shoes?" the boy asked, stopping dead on the pavement like me. I didn't expect that loud laugh that followed. It took me a lot of persuading. Sobanlal, for that was his name, refused to believe that I wasn't making fun of him. He had to leave school 2 years before his matriculation. Why should I want to do his job when I had been to university? If he could speak English, he certainly wouldn't be polishing other people's shoes. He would sit in an office and be a sahib himself, earning a regular monthly salary. But he hadn't been born under a lucky star. His family had died of smallpox about 3 years ago. No shoe shining was no job for an educated man like myself. What would my friends say? I explained that I had no friend in Delhi, that I had left home without sitting through my exam, and most important that even if I did apply for a clerk job, I wouldn't be earning less than him. "But think of the status of working in an office with an electric fan over your head," Sobanlal argued. "There is that, I suppose," I replied, smiling. "But I have to get a job straight away." "Well," my friend said, reluctantly giving in, "if you really want to, I don't know how the other will take it. There is a Susain union, and Connaught Circus is a profitable place. If there an extra Susain, it means that everyone else earn a little bit less." I hadn't thought of it like that, and Sobanlal has opened up a whole new world for me. For the moment I lost the feeling of hopelessness. and despair which had possessed me ever since I arrived in Delhi. To work as a Susain became the most important goal in my life. But if I can persuade the other, Sobanlal said, breaking into my thoughts, you will need to get all the stuff, a box like this, one brushes, cream and polish and some rags. Yes, of course, I replied, drawn back to reality once again. And how much will all that cost? About 10 or 12 rupees? Sobanlal answered, shouldn't be much more than that. Really? I said and started laughing. Why? What's the matter? Don't you believe me? Of course I believe you, but the simple fact is that I only have 5 rupees and some loose change. This time Sobanlal was really shocked. His mouth fell open and his eyes shot up in surprise. You mean? You really mean? I am afraid I do, I replied. You see, I could never have an electric fan over my head. He closed his eyes and his face became thoughtful while he put his hand inside the pocket of his half pint several times. Well, he said, we shall have to find a way. It was nearly 6 o'clock and we walked a few yards in silence towards the Revolt Cinema, where a show had just ended. Sobanlal quickened his step. I must walk now, but you come to see me at 11 o'clock after the last show. Then I shall talk with my friends and see what they say. All right, I nodded as I watched him walk away. And don't worry, he shouted just before he turned the corner. If they let you walk there, we will find the money somehow. I walked along the street of Delhi. I wondered what the history of my country meant to me. Here was a land where men had achieved greatness on every plane: astronomy, algebra, architecture, even poetry, music, and art. Yet in this very city, where 7 empires had come and gone, where Akbar and Ashoka ruled, I could not get a job, and a boy like Sobanlal had not been able to finish his schooling. By 11 o'clock I had walked 8 miles when I met Sobanlal. Connaught Circus was nearly deserted. Hello, Sobanlal said, greeting me in Hindi. Hello, I replied as a few men around him moved aside to let me come to him. These are my friends, Sobanlal added, waving his hand over the group. What do they have to say about my working with them here in Connaught Circus? Well, Sobanlal replied, pulling face. Just then one of the younger men started speaking very fast in strength dialect I could not easily follow. This was taken up by an older man, and in a few minutes 4 others joined in, where they stopped talking. Sobanlal, who had been quiet all this time, translated for me. The union was having trouble with the authorities. They had refused to grant a license to the Susain, although hawkers could apply for one. So in effect polishing shoes on the pavement was illegal, like begging, and one had to depend on the goodwill of the policeman. The head of the Susain Union knew some English, but obviously some with better knowledge of the language would be of great help. So, though most of group was against letting me in, they had reluctantly agreed to give me a chance provided I helped out with the correspondence. I literally jumped for joy and gave Sobanlal a close hug. They also say, he added, that we take a collection for you to buy the box and the rest of the materials, so you can keep the 5 rupees to buy food and other things till you begin to earn a little, and after a few weeks you can pay back the money for the box. A toffee tin was passed around and a little over 7 rupees was collected that evening. We will get more tomorrow, Sobanlal said. When the rest are here, you know there are 30 of us who works in Connaught Circus. The group disappeared and I went home with Sobanlal that night. The story highlighted that positive attitude and the ability to think creatively and step towards achieving success, It emphasizes that no work is small and dignity of labor must be respected. Those who earn their living through hard work should be honored. It also drawn our attention towards the fact that everyone is intelligent and if given the opportunity can rise in life. Thank you so much. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe my channel. English Story YouTube channel will provide you such kind of knowledgeable stories.